Welcome back to our series on Lightspeed Framework features. Today we will uncover the multi-tenant potential baked into our framework. Based on our experience, most of the new applications focus on a small workgroup need that goes through few iterations to become a V1 version of the application. As such applications mature, the idea to make it multi-tenant starts to kick in, but then is usually put on the back burner as it was never planned from the very beginning. Such missed opportunities never see the light and are left buried. We have worked with many customers over the years to take their applications through this life cycle, to build a single tenant solution, and then migrate the very same application into a multi-tenant application. Once we honed the process, we integrated it into our framework where such migrations are a breeze with few database updates and configuration. As much as multi-tenant by design is a hard boundary, you can configure it to allow a mix where some common entities like user account and country can stay shared, while specific entities can be configured in a multi-tenant setup. The primary difference between the multi-tenant entities and the non-multi-tenant entities is the presence of a tenant ID column. Once you enable the multi-tenant feature, our framework will automatically look for the tenant ID column as defined in configuration in the model of the entity, and if it exists, will filter out by logged-in user's tenant ID value. If the logged-in user does not have any tenant ID value assigned, the framework will not show any details and does not allow the user to add any new data. Let's take a look at the implementation of multi-tenant functionality in our framework. For the demo purpose, we have defined a new entity called purchase order, which has been enabled for multi-tenant based on its database configuration. And we have already created two tenants, Acme Industries and Brothers and Sisters. We have also updated the user's profile to select the tenant at runtime. This will simulate the use case where the logged-in user is tied to a tenant or not. To begin with, as you can see, there's no tenant ID selected for the user, for the logged-in user. And let's go to purchase orders. We are not able to see any data. In addition, the user does not have an ability to add new details since this entity requires a tenant ID, which in this case is missing for the logged-in user. Now let's go to the user profile and update the tenant ID to Acme Industries. After the update, when we go to the purchase orders, we can see the data for Acme Industries only. We also have the ability to add new data. And as we add new data, it will automatically be assigned to Acme Industries. Let's go and now change the tenant ID of the logged-in user to Brothers and Sisters. Once we have made the update, now when we go to the purchase orders, we can only see the data for Brothers and Sisters only, and none of the old data for Acme Industries is visible. As you can see, integration of the tenant ID, when done properly in the framework, is a breeze. All data access will automatically be addressed by our framework to limit to a tenant based on the entity configuration without a single line of code. This includes all lookup tables as well as various forms. As most of the organizations are moving towards a single login model, we have enhanced our security feature set to allow for a single user to have access to multi-tenants with different roles in each tenant. If you have an application that you wish to migrate over to a multi-tenant solution, we'll be more than glad to share our experiences and assist you. Thanks for watching, and we encourage you to watch other features of the Lightspeed framework. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.